Two giants, two legends of Africa's wild heart. Both armored in thick skin, both armed with lethal horns, both survivors of a prehistoric age. But when people hear their names, Black Rhinoceros and White Rhinoceros, they often imagine two animals of very different colors. In truth, both are the same dusty gray. Their names are the result of a mistake in translation. Yet behind those names lies a story of survival, of evolution, and of one of the greatest rivalries in nature. Today we put these titans side by side, the Black Rhino versus the White Rhino. We'll explore their species and subspecies, their evolution, their habitats, their diets, their weapons, and finally, if these two were to clash, who would win? Species and origins. There are 5 species of rhinoceros alive today. The Indian or greater one-horned rhino of Asia, the smaller Javan and Sumatran rhinos clinging on at the edge of extinction, and the 2 African species, the white and the black rhino. They are the descendants of ancient mammals that once roamed Eurasia some 50 million years ago. These ancestors were hornless and looked more like tapirs. Over time, evolution gave rise to thick-skinned giants with horns made not of bone, but of keratin, the same material as our fingernails. In Africa, 2 lineages split. One evolved into the hook-lipped browser we call the Black Rhino. The other became the wide-mouthed grazer, the White Rhino. Subspecies in evolutionary history. Both species were once more diverse. The Black Rhino historically had at least 7 regional subspecies. Today, only 3 survive. The eastern Black Rhino in Kenya and Tanzania, the southwestern Black Rhino in Namibia and Angola, and the southern Black Rhino in South Africa. The others have vanished. Most recently, the western Black Rhino of West Africa declared extinct in 2011. The White Rhino has 2 subspecies. The southern White Rhino, numbering around 16,000 individuals today, is the world's most numerous rhino. But its cousin, the northern White Rhino, has been driven to the very edge. Only 2 females remain, living under armed guard in Kenya, while scientists attempt to save the lineage with advanced reproductive technology. So while one subspecies tells a story of conservation success, the other tells a tragic tale of near loss. Key differences. So what sets them apart? It isn't color. The easiest way to tell them apart is by looking at their mouths. The Black Rhino has a narrow, pointed, prehensile upper lip shaped almost like a hook. This lip is designed to grasp branches, leaves, and shrubs. It is a browser, living in bushlands and woodlands. The White Rhino, on the other hand, has a wide square upper lip perfect for grazing on grass. It is a grazer living in open savannas and floodplains. This simple difference in lip shape has shaped their entire way of life, from their choice of habitat, to their behavior, and even to their social structure. Population and conservation. Now let's talk about their status today. The White Rhino has had one of the most dramatic conservation turnarounds in history. At the end of the 19th century, fewer than 100 individuals remained. Thanks to strict protection, their numbers rebounded to over 20,000. Today about 16,000 remain, almost all southern whites. They still face severe poaching pressure, but their story is considered one of the greatest conservation successes of modern times. The Black Rhino tells a different story. In the 1970s, there were more than 60,000. But relentless poaching for their horns reduced that to fewer than 2,500 by the 1990s. Today, thanks to huge conservation efforts, their numbers have slowly climbed back to around 6,500. They are still listed as critically endangered. Both species suffer from the same threat, poaching. Rhino horn made of keratin has no medicinal value, yet it is sold in black markets for traditional medicine or carved into ornaments. This demand continues to drive killings across Africa. Habitat and range. Habitat separates these 2 giants. The Black Rhino prefers dense, shrubby habitats, thickets, savannas with bush, and woodland areas where it can browse on leaves and twigs. It thrives where cover is available, often moving through areas of thick thorn bush that deter other animals. The White Rhino, by contrast, is a creature of the open plains. It lives in grasslands, savannas, and floodplains, often seen grazing in herds. Southern White Rhinos dominate reserves in South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and beyond. Where grass stretches endlessly, you'll find the White Rhino. Where tangled bushes grow, the Black Rhino rules. Physical characteristics. Now let's compare their physical stats. The White Rhino is the larger of the 2. Males weigh between 2,000 and 2,400 kilograms, with some reaching over 3,500. They can stand up to 2 meters tall at the shoulder and grow 3.6 to 4.2 meters in length. Females are slightly smaller, averaging 1,600 to 1,800 kilograms. The Black Rhino is smaller and more compact. Males weigh between 900 and 1,300 kilograms, with exceptional individuals pushing 1,800. They stand about 1.4 to 1.8 meters at the shoulder, with lengths of 3 to 3.5 meters. Females are smaller still. So on sheer size, the White Rhino is the heavyweight. It is the second largest land animal on Earth after the elephant. Yet despite their bulk, both species can run. At top speed, rhinos can reach 50 to 55 kilometers per hour, faster than an Olympic sprinter. Imagine 2 tons of muscle thundering toward you at that speed. Weapons and combat behavior. Both black and white rhinos are armed with horns. Their horns are made of keratin, not bone, and they grow continuously throughout life. The front horn is usually longer. In white rhinos, it averages 60 to 90 centimeters, but records of over 1.5 meters exist. Black rhino horns are often sharper and sometimes longer, also exceeding 1.5 meters. White rhinos rely on their size and momentum. When threatened, they lower their massive heads and charge with crushing force. A 2-ton animal hitting at 50 kilometers per hour is almost unstoppable. Black rhinos, though smaller, are famously aggressive. They charge more readily, attack more unpredictably, and use their horns with precision. They have been known to flip vehicles and gore predators. In fact, more human fatalities in Africa are caused by black rhinos than white rhinos. Both species also use their horns in combat with rivals, fighting over territory or mates. These clashes can be brutal, leaving deep wounds and broken horns. Social behavior and reproduction. White rhinos are more social. They often live in small groups called crashes, usually females with calves, though males are mostly solitary. Black rhinos are solitary and territorial. They maintain overlapping ranges but usually avoid one another except during mating. Reproduction is slow for both. A female carries her calf for 15 to 16 months, one of the longest gestation periods in the animal kingdom. She gives birth to a single calf, which stays with her for up to 3 years. This slow reproduction makes recovery from population losses very difficult. Diet and predators. Their diets reflect their lips. White rhinos are grazers, eating grasses almost exclusively. A single individual may consume 50 kilograms of grass a day. They shape the savanna by keeping grass short, benefiting other grazers like zebras and wildebeests. Black rhinos are browsers. They feed on shrubs, small trees, twigs, fruits, and leaves. They can consume over 200 species of plants. Their hooked lips let them pluck branches and strip leaves with great skill. Adult rhinos have almost no natural predators. Even lions rarely dare attack a healthy adult. Calves, however, are sometimes taken by lions, hyenas, or crocodiles. But the greatest threat to both is humanity. Fascinating facts. A few facts make rhinos even more remarkable. Their skin, though up to 5 centimeters thick, is sensitive. They sunburn easily and are irritated by insects, so they wallow in mud, coating their bodies with a natural sunscreen and insect repellent. Their eyesight is poor, but their hearing and sense of smell are excellent. A rhino may not see you standing still at 30 meters, but it will smell you from far away. And despite their massive size, rhinos move quietly. A grazing white rhino can approach almost silently until it explodes into a charge. Head-to-head, who would win? So who wins in a fight? On open ground, the white rhino holds the clear advantage. Its massive size and momentum make it almost unstoppable. A black rhino simply doesn't have the mass to withstand a direct charge from an animal twice its weight. But in thick bush, the black rhino could even the odds. It is more agile, more aggressive, and quicker to strike. With sharp horn thrusts and unpredictable charges, it could wound a larger rival. So the answer depends on the battlefield. On the open plains, the white rhino wins. In dense bushland, the black rhino might surprise its larger cousin. Final thoughts and conservation. In the end, these animals are not enemies. They are survivors. Both play vital roles in their ecosystems, shaping vegetation and providing balance for countless other species. The real battle is not between them, but against extinction. One species, the white rhino, shows us how conservation can succeed. The other, the black rhino, reminds us how fragile survival can be. And the northern white rhino shows us what happens when we act too late. If we want these titans to roam the wild for generations to come, protection must continue. Anti-poaching patrols, wildlife sanctuaries, and community conservation programs. Because once a rhino species is gone, it is gone forever. So tell us, between the black rhino and the white rhino, which would you place your bet on? Thanks for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe the channel for upcoming videos.